Mundo. In today's segment, we're going to be going over Marbury vs. Madison.
Now, we're going to go over terms to know with Angela Masadi.
Thanks, Sarah, for that alluring introduction. Here I have the key phrases and the key terms. First off, we have writ of mandamus, which is defined as the court order or simply an order to do something. Second, we have midnight judges. Midnight judges is the reference dem refs use to refer to appointed judges, appointed court judges, of course. Commission simply means employment. Almost lastly, we have Act of 1789. 1789 was the law that gave the Supreme Court power to rule over cases. Lastly, we have an excerpt directly from the Constitution, Article 2, Section 2. This section states, the judicial power shall extend to all cases in law equity arising under this Constitution. The laws of the U.S. and treaties made or which shall be made under the authority. Thank you. Back to you, Sarah.
During Adams' presidency, he was given authority in the Judiciary Act of 1801 to an appointed number of midnight judges from the Federalist Party. Adams made sure there were Federalists in the courts when Jefferson was in office, so they would still hold power during Jefferson's presidency. William Marbury would have been one of these midnight judges, but his papers were never received. The Secretary of State, James Madison, refused to send their papers. As an effect, Marbury took his complaint to the Supreme Court and asked for a writ of mandamus. The court didn't want to get involved, but had to come to a decision. Chief Justice Marshall wrote the court decision.
Now we have Angela with the constitutional principles that were involved.
Marbury vs. Madison was the first court case to apply the principle of judicial review. Judicial review gave the Supreme Court the power to decide if a law is or is not constitutional. The judicial review also says that actions of legislative and executive are subject to review from the judicial branch. Significant parts of checks and balances ensures that the judicial branch has the right to stop any kind of corrupt or unconstitutional law from passing.
This is introduced by Brookside Chocolate.
And now, next up, Natalie Camarillo with the final court decision and a synopsis of the Chief Justice at the time.
The final vote in the Marbury vs. Madison court case was against Marbury's writ mandamus. They did not feel the need to give Marbury a commission because of the Judiciary Act of 1789, which allowed for judicial review. Chief of Justice John Marshall stated, "The government of the United States has been practically termed a government of laws, and not of men. It will certainly cease to deserve this high appreciation if the laws furnish no remedy for the violation of the vested legal right." The court denied the Chief of Justice's request, which was John Marshall, who was in favor of Marbury's writ mandamus. The landmark decision helped create checks and balances in the American government. The final decision was made in 1803. Although Marbury's request was denied, the case showed that checks and balances took place as the Chief of Justice allowed the Supreme Court to make the final decision.
Miriam with the impacts of the decision on U.S. history.
The biggest impact that the Marbury vs. Madison case had on the United States was on the American government. In this case, it gave power to the judicial reviews. This gave the court the power to declare war, passed by Congress to be unconstitutional.
Chief of Justice, wait, can you please tell us what happened?
Okay.
Chief of Justice, please, explain, did you go for Marbury or Madison?
Okay, so personally I was in favor of Marbury's writ of mandamus.
What happened?
Okay, so the court overruled my decision because of the Act of 1789. That's all I'm going to say. That's all.
We need more detail. We need more detail. We need to know. The newspapers are waiting. Final vote.
Marbury. Angela Masadi from A Push Mundo. Would you like to answer a few questions for us?
Can you please wait? I'm trying.
It'll only take a few minutes,
I'm trying to make
sir.
an important call, ma'am. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes. Goodbye. What do you want?
What's your viewpoint on why the Supreme Court rejected your writ of mandamus?
I feel personally attacked because they rejected it because of the Act of 1789. Even though the act during the Midnight Judges whole situation wasn't there, and the Midnight Judges just had Federalists in it, and I should have been a Midnight Judge, but they only wanted it Federalist, and that was a bias toward other political viewpoints, and I feel that my writ of mandamus should have been accepted to further extend the judicial review.
Thank you for your time. Sorry for bothering you at work, sir. Have a nice day.
Yeah, don't do that again.